Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a highly practical, high-value AI automation system built exclusively for the Australian tech landscape. We're pulling straight from the Apex Logic methodology, which means we're skipping the sci-fi theories and focusing entirely on immediate, local business automation. If you run a business in Australia, you know our operational hurdles are pretty unique, right? So your tech actually needs to reflect that reality. Let's kick things off with a pretty staggering reality. 15. Australian small business owners spend an average of 15 hours a week just on administrative tasks. Just let that sink in for a second. 15 hours. That's almost 2 full workdays completely lost every single week. Imagine taking Monday and Tuesday and doing nothing but pushing paper, answering mundane emails, and moving data from one column to another. It's a massive bottleneck, and it literally stops leaders from doing the high-level strategic work that actually drives a business forward. Section 1. The Australian Admin Burden and Practical Realities. Let's look at why standard advice just doesn't work here. We've all seen the massive global AI hype, right? It's everywhere you look. But here's the hard truth derived from our source material. Most of those flashy tutorials you see online, they just aren't practical for our local Australian business landscape. The prevailing advice usually points you toward building these complex conversational agents. Well, I'm here to tell you, you don't need another chatbot. You really don't need a novelty widget on your website pretending to talk to customers. What you actually need are rock-solid back-end solutions. There's a massive divide here. On one side, you've got generic, flashing AI. Sure, it makes for a great viral post, but it gives you very little return on investment for your daily operations. On the other side, practical, local business automation. We're talking about robust systems that handle your scheduling, parse through dense email correspondence, and generate basic reporting. And crucially, they do all of this without breaking local data privacy rules, which is exactly where generic global advice just falls completely flat. So the real takeaway here is that any tech you implement absolutely has to factor in our specific environment. You've got to consider reliable NBN connectivity requirements. I mean, if your workflow needs a massive continuous uplink that local infrastructure struggles with, it's going to fail. Plus, you must maintain strict ASIC regulation compliance. Your automated systems can't just play fast and loose with how financial or corporate data is processed. Everything has to be airtight, compliant, and strictly tailored to Australian data privacy rules to protect both you and your clients. Which brings us to Section 2, the 3-step Apex workflow. This is where it gets really interesting. Let's break down this Apex workflow. It's a brilliantly simple 3-step system designed to automate your heaviest admin burdens, all while totally respecting those professional local requirements we just talked about. It moves logically, from data intake to scheduling and then out to external communication. Let's dive into exactly how to set this whole thing up. Step 1 is synthesizing your weekly emails with tools like Claude or ChatGPT. Think about your inbox for a second. It constantly demands your attention, right? Well, instead of staring at a screen until your eyes cross, manually reading and sorting every single thread, you use AI. The AI digests the correspondence and spits out clear, actionable summaries. It extracts all the noise and leaves you with exactly what you need to know and what you need to do. It's an absolute game changer for neutralizing one of the biggest time sinks in your day. Okay, moving right along to step 2. This is where it all connects. We take that synthesized email data and link it directly into your scheduling and calendar tools. Because from step 1, the AI already knows who wants to meet, what the deadlines are, and what events are coming up. Now using a secure bridging tool like Zapier or Make, this workflow pushes that data straight to your calendar. It manages the whole scheduling layer of your business so you never have to manually type in dates, times, or meeting links again. And finally, step 3. This closes the loop perfectly by triggering automated client notifications right from your calendar. Once an event is synthesized and locked in, the system automatically reaches out to the client to keep everyone informed. They get their confirmations, their reminders, their reporting, and you didn't have to draft a single follow-up message. The whole process is handled effortlessly. So what's the actual result here? The data shows that by applying this professional, 3-step Apex workflow, you can shave 10 hours off your weekly schedule, starting today. That is 10 hours of heavy administrative burden completely lifted off your shoulders, all using a system that respects our local connectivity and regulatory standards. Which leads us nicely into Section 3, reclaim time for growth. As the Apex Logic methodology perfectly highlights, this isn't just about speed, it's about reclaiming your time to focus on growth. True local business automation gives you that exact freedom. When you aren't bogged down for 2 solid days a week doing paperwork, you can actually look at the horizon. You can stay ahead of the curve in the Australian tech landscape, refine your strategy, and focus on truly expanding your business rather than just treading water to maintain it. To wrap up this explainer, I want you to take a hard look at your own operations. Look at your desk, look at your screen, and ask yourself this vital question. What is the single administrative task you are going to automate this week? The tools are right here, the framework is proven for the Australian market, and those massive time savings are just waiting for you to claim them. So, are you ready to take that first step and finally reclaim your time?